Hello again. Welcome back to Adventures in Book Hunting, and actually, this is Adventures in Reading. Um, this is a very niche video, and will be applicable to only a very few of my subscribers, but there are a few of you, and those few subscribers are the subscribers who, like me, are in the Hatter Bookshop um, book club, which will have its inaugural meeting hopefully tomorrow. And tomorrow, if the weather will cooperate just a little bit. In any event, the book that we're reading for book club is uh, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. And this, of course, may be familiar to you folks. I did a video about this video a few months back. This was a gift from my friends for my birthday, and I did a short video about the book just in general then. Uh, and of course, I've read Alice in Wonderland, and I did a little extra credit work and also read the progenitor of that book, Alice's Adventures Underground. And I'm really looking forward to the meeting and the discussion about that book tomorrow. And just a short note, I think when I made that video, I said this is the only Lewis Carroll I'll ever need. I just wish that it had Jabberwocky in it, and forgetting that the poem Jabberwocky is included in Through the Looking Glass, which of course is included in this volume. So this is indeed the only Lewis Carroll I think I'll ever need. This beautiful Penguin classic. In any event, that'll be the topic for the book club tomorrow, January 10th at 4 p.m. Oh, sorry, January 11th at 4 p.m. Now, uh, there's already been a book selected for next month's meeting in February. I don't know the date yet. I'm sure we'll find that out tomorrow. But the book set to be read next month for the next book club meeting is Kristen Hanna's The Great Alone. I borrowed this copy from my daughter, and I probably hauled it for her. But in any event, she's loaning it back to me so I can read it. This was the winning book, shall we say, from the short list that was compiled from all the members of the club. I voted for this one, and the reason I voted for it was because she was the only author out of the three that I was familiar with. Kristen Hanna is very popular, and I've been very well trained. If I find Kristen Hanna out in the wild, uh, if it gets past my daughter and some other my daughter, my granddaughter, and some other friends, uh, if they don't want it, then it goes to the Hatter. I'm looking forward to reading it. I'm passingly familiar with the author, but I've never read any of her work. And like I say, looking forward to that for the meeting in February. Now, but the purpose of this video is more particularly to lobby my fellow members of the Hattershop Book Club for suggested reading for future months. Hopefully March and April. But in either event, the two books I'm going to talk about today, I would dearly love to read as part of a book club group. And even if it never makes it to the book club, I certainly intend to read both of these books. I'm very interested to do so, but I would really, really like to read it with a group so we can have that good discussion and interaction and have that shared experience. The first one I'm going to suggest to my fellow book clubbers is A Gentleman in Paris by Amor Towles. And as you might be able to see right here, now an original series on Paramount Plus. I've hauled this book a couple times for the shop, and the last time I checked, they did not have a copy in stock. But in a recent haul, I found this one. Um, I'm passingly familiar with the author. I've not read any of his work, but I did catch a free episode of the streaming series, um, uh, starring Ewan McGregor of Obi-Wan Kenobi fame as the lead character. And I just really enjoyed that episode. I don't need another streaming service. At some point, I hope to be able to watch the whole series because the first episode that you got to watch for free on Netflix was very gripping. And I'll just read you a brief description from the jacket, just to give you a taste of what this is about. Of course, the title is A Gentleman in Moscow, and the jacket reads, when in 1922, 30-year-old Count Alexander Rostov is deemed an unrepentant aristocrat by a Bolshevik tribunal, he is sentenced to house arrest in the Metropole, a grand hotel near the Kremlin. An indomitable man of erudition and wit, Rostov must now live in an attic room as some of the most tumultuous decades in Russian history unfold. Unexpectedly, the Count's reduced circumstances provide him entry into a world of emotional discovery as he forges friendships with the hotel's denizens. But when fate puts the life of a young girl in his hands, he must draw on all his ingenuity to protect the future she deserves. Hailed for its humor, intrigue, and beautifully rendered scenes, the singular novel casts a spell as it relates the Count's endeavor to become a man of purpose. And yes, that's exactly what it is. It's set in the aftermath of the Bolshevik Revolution in the early days of the Soviet Union. And basically, Count Rostov is exiled to the Metropole Hotel. Basically, the hotel is his prison. If he leaves the hotel grounds, he's subject to summary execution. Like they, and even in the first episode, there were allusions to perhaps this relationship and situation with this young girl that he meets and befriends in the hotel. In the first episode, mild spoiler, an acquaintance of his who's in a similar situation, who's taking refuge in the hotel, is arrested and hauled off, and who knows what came of him from that. But in any event, would really, really like to read it now. And so, fellow book clubbers, tomorrow we're probably going to get to have some discussion about the March read. I want to put in my encouragement. If we have an opportunity to vote, please vote with me for A Gentleman in Moscow. The other book I'd like to recommend for my fellow book clubbers is another book that I've been wanting to read for years. Also, it's been adapted as well, and that is Cloud Atlas by David Mitchell. And as you can see, let's get away from the glare. The copy I have here is the movie tie-in cover. Tom Hanks, Halle Berry, Hugh Grant, other notables. And it's in some ways an experimental novel. It's written in a very unique style. I know generally the way the book's laid out, but I have not read it. I've seen previews for the film, maybe a clip or two from the film, but I have not. I don't know. I can promise you, I've not read any of the book, but the premise sounds very intriguing, very interesting. And I've read other work by David Mitchell, and like I said, I've been saving this one. Basically, the story is told in 6 parts. There are 6 interconnected stories across a vast span of time, one connected to the other, one kind of leading to the other, until you get to the middle of the book. So parts 1 to 6 get you to the middle of the book, and then basically the next part is the continuation of the story in part 6, and then you work backwards, going through the stories back to the beginning point. So basically, each of the first 6 parts tells half the story. The next 6 parts tell the other half of the story, making a full circle. Like I said, the idea always intrigued me. David Mitchell writes very, very well. I enjoy his prose. But this is if you don't want to vote for A Gentleman in Moscow tomorrow, please vote for Cloud Atlas. That's my number 2 pick. Once again, I will read it regardless of whether or not the book club would like to read it. But again, I would really, really like to read this with a group, to get group discussion and interaction and, just like a shared experience from reading this book as well. So if Gentleman in Moscow doesn't sound like your thing, perhaps Cloud Atlas will. And hopefully the club will continue on for some time. So eventually we could get there. But I'm just saying, friends, fellow book clubbers, consider these. And whatever you guys decide, I'll be in this for the long haul. I'll be reading with you. But once again, I would love, love, love to read these very good books with you. And with that, I will say goodbye and hopefully see some of you tomorrow. I say hopefully, weather permitting. Weather where we are right now is less than ideal. But like I say, I hope we get to see each other in person for the first meeting of the book club tomorrow, January 11th, 4 p.m. at the Hatter Bookshop on Mercer Street in Princeton, West Virginia. Hope to see you there, and in any event, good book hunting and good reading.